far we've fallen. I'm out on the run, live in the violence, die by the sword, deep in the fire, that's where darkness is born.
We live in a society where people will legitimately validate anything. A man gropes a woman? She was dressed inappropriately, so she was asking for it, they'll say. People are robbing houses and looting businesses in the Pacific Palisades while fires ravage through the area. Well, those people are rich gluttons and have far too much for a single family. Who cares? Donald Trump was shot at during a speech? Well, he's misogynistic, so he deserved it, was the rhetoric. It's a world that can often seem devoid of empathy and even cruel at times. Social media gives people a false sense of security and a numbness to the pain of others, and they have grown completely insensitive to the fact that there are humans on the other side of their hate filled comments. It leaves me incredibly disheartened many days, and I have to unplug and disassociate or go scroll accounts of people doing good deeds and helping others to remind myself that there are truly wonderful humans in this world. Look at the helpers, they say. Actually, that's a quote from Mr. Rogers. He said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" And that's one of my quotes that I hold dear. And it's so true, because I do believe there is more good people than bad in the world. But that doesn't mean I'm not incredibly disheartened by the bad, especially when I see people condoning the actions of the bad people. Perhaps the thing that just leaves me more upset than anything is when a woman is murdered by her intimate partner or former intimate partner and people defend it. With accusations of her behaving badly or cheating allegations, many will actually say they understand why the husband did it. I had to stop reading the comments under a lot of my social media posts about murder victims because people will defend the murderer and blame the victim. I'm not sure when the punishment for cheating became death, but I also don't know when people became so accepting of violence as the answer to one party no longer wanting to be in the relationship. And in today's story, perhaps this is the most significant case where the victim is blamed more than any other case I have seen. People are really apathetic when sex workers are killed, blaming them for a high risk lifestyle. We see this intense interest when people who are employed in more mainstream work are killed. There's outrage, there's sadness. But when a sex worker, or a person who's battled addictions, or even a person with a history of unstable mental health is the victim, the public's outrage dissipates quickly, and we even see a lack of interest from police forces and those who should be highly engaged in seeking justice. It's this overarching attitude, just like almost like a group shrug. Well, you played stupid games, you won stupid prizes. There's just no empathy at all for the fact that who knows what led that person to be in that career field or to do drugs or concern for their mental health. And I hate that shit because we are all human and every victim was somebody's child. And the victim that I'm talking about today was so beloved by her mother and her sisters and her friends, and she was failed so much by a system who truly seemed to just not care about her. She wasn't valued, and there was very little sympathy for her. Apathetic isn't even the right word for how people responded to her murder, because it's like people were not just indifferent to her murder, but okay with it. Because this victim did have a job in the adult industry, and she also had a large online social media presence promoting it, but she deserved better. Today I bring you the case of Dana Alotaibi. Now, every news source I have heard refers to her as Dana. However, in her mom's personal videos, she calls her Donna, and in a tribute video, she even played that old song from the 1950s by Richie Valens called "Oh Donna," an oldie but a goodie if you haven't heard it. In all the videos of Donna using her own name, it does sound to me like she's saying Donna. And I'm going to play some clips with her speaking later, and you'll be able to decide for yourself, but I'll be calling her Donna. Dana Alotaibi was an OnlyFans model and an Instagram and TikTok influencer. She was married to a Marine named Bryant Tejeda Castillo for 3 years. Bryant was a highly decorated service member, and some of his accolades included the National Defense Service Medal, the Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, a Letter of Appreciation 2 times, the Navy Meritorious Unit Commendation Medal, the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal 2 times, and a Global War on Terrorism Service Medal. On social media, Dana had viral music videos. One video had millions and millions of views before her death. But Dana wasn't your typical OnlyFans model, and her videos garnered much backlash because Dana was half Saudi. Now, many social media users have said that that can't be confirmed, and they claim that she took on the famous Saudi tribal name of Alotaibi in order to give them a bad name, which sounds ridiculous. According to her obituary, Dana was born in Colombia, although I did see conflicting information saying she was born in Argentina. But either way, she has always said that on her mother's side she is Colombian and reportedly Saudi on her father's side. Dana's mom has a lot of pictures of Dana in hijabs and even a tattoo on her forearm of Dana wearing a hijab, so I tend to believe she's Saudi American, though I'm not here to dispute whether she was or not. It really doesn't change the outcome of the things that happened to her. But her identifying herself as a Saudi American woman did bring her under fire quite a bit as Arab women face such unmeetable standards, especially those in westernized cultures. And Dana would make videos where she did mock the Saudi culture and restrictions against women and even was wearing a hijab in some of those videos. This brought her death threats and hate and all kinds of polarizing responses, of course. If you just glance at the comments under her YouTube videos, they range from men wishing death upon her years prior to her murder, and then those praising Allah and her ex-husband for her death after it occurred. And after Dana's murder, there would be hundreds and hundreds on social media who would openly celebrate the news of her murder. It seems whenever an Arab woman lives in a way that is considered immoral or not aligning with Islam, there is this inherent belief that whatever fate befalls her is both justified and deserved. And in Arab communities, I have read that when these women ask for divorces on the grounds of abuse, the community seems to ask, how did she provoke him? And sadly, in my mind, I really attributed that type of mindset to those that are ideologically fundamentalist only. But sadly, this is the same result I've seen among many of the military community when reading on sites like Reddit and other social media platforms where service members validated Dana's murder. Now, as a caveat, I'll say it's the service members that are completely emotionally unintelligent, which is not all of them, of course, but enough of them that it was disturbing for me to really deep dive into this case. Dana drove a pink Jeep Wrangler that people knew her for. It was notorious on base. And so in these Reddit threads and all over social media, they just refer to her as Pink Jeep. And, it's just shameful the way men talk about her. But I will say this. I spent a few hours going down the rabbit hole of Donna's TikTok and her mom's, and Donna's is still accessible. And I watched so many of her videos. And this was a girl who was struggling so much. I'm going to play a clip for you now, because perhaps the most common response I see in discussions about Donna's murder is that she deserved it because of her cheating on her husband. It's where she actually discusses this, and she's very transparent. She talks about how all she has ever wanted was a faithful marriage, and her first husband cheated on her, which deeply impacted her. And then she was faithful to her second husband, and then he cheated on her. And then Dana openly admits that in retaliation, she cheated on him. And while I don't condone that thought process, and two wrongs obviously don't make a right, what I did gather from a lot of her footage was that Dana was that girl that just wanted a good husband, someone to treat her well. And she was struggling. She used humor a lot to deal with her pain. And I don't think that always helped her cause because people didn't understand it. She joked a lot about her pain of being cheated on and her OnlyFans and all of that. But there was a lot of moments of her being just raw and authentic, and it was heartbreaking. Let me play you a clip right now that illustrates this.
Hi everybody, it's me, Dana Alotaibi. I just want to be a white girl now. I just want to be one of my white neighbors who has a civilized marriage, who believes in Christian and God and not cheating, and just has kids and has debt and just pays off for their debt in a civilized way, not OnlyFans, and just has more stability. I just want to be that white girl. Can I just please just be that white girl. I just want to be a white girl already now. Like, I hate this. I fucking hate this. I fucking hate this so much. And then my mom tells me, oh, it's okay to start over, because when you, like, you're young, you'll start over. Mom, this is my second marriage. The first one cheated on me, the second one cheated on me, and y'all can say what y'all want to fucking say, but, like, I don't cheat. I cheat back, you know? Like, once you do it, then, hey, you know, I'm gonna do it too, you know, kind of thing. But it's over. It's not like we're gonna play a game where, like, oh, you cheated this week, I cheat next week, you cheat. No, like, it's over. It'll be freaking over once you do it. Because I'm never ever gonna cheat. So once my partners have cheated, then I start to cheat back. But it's fucking over. So I do cheat back. But yeah, guys, like, my mom's like, oh, you can start over. Mom, this is my second marriage. Like, start over the third time for what? Just to fucking get another divorce, another heartache, another fucking everything? No, Mom, no. I'm just gonna go live in the woods. Just disappear, go to Colombia, and just fucking get lost in the Amazon, or I don't know, go hiking here in Hawaii and disappear. Like, I hate this. I fucking hate this.
Hindsight, just so sad. You can tell she's in a lot of emotional distress, and yeah, maybe a bit immature or has some emotional intelligence to gain, but she was young and a person deserving of love and a good life. She does also acknowledge that she's no stranger to domestic violence. It sounds like she may have grown up in that environment, which is why I always say we have to meet people where they are. We never know what they've endured. We can't judge a person for where they are in their life, not knowing what the chapters before the ones we witness look like. And I'm not sure if Dana's mom, Natasha, experienced domestic violence, but as an immigrant from Colombia, she's statistically at much higher risk, as immigrant women are so often victims of abuse. They actually have a lot in common with military wives if you think about it, because they're often isolated from family and friends and living far away from them. They don't always have access to funds and they can't just leave. And then they have the additional challenge of language barriers coming into play. So Donna wrote about her marriage often on her social media sites and even had several YouTube videos where she discussed the abuse she was enduring at the hands of her Marine husband. And people in her life knew about the abuse. Some witnessed it, and some even made phone calls to the police to report what they witnessed. But none of that mattered. Perhaps the video Donna has that haunts me the most in the aftermath of her murder is a video where she is asking a domestic violence hotline how she can access help. Now, this is a really long video, or audio rather, but it is so important because it covers so many of the issues that I talk about on this show and that do affect military spouses. Let's listen to that now, but I'm going to warn you in advance this might be triggering to listen to. It discusses choking and strangulation, death threats. There's a lot of sobbing and some parts can be hard to understand, but it's also really impactful. Like I said, Donna is talking to a person from the National Hotline for Domestic Violence for the first part of this audio. She's called family advocacy. She's done all of those things she was advised. She's literally desperate and begging for help. She went to Brian's Fur Shirt. She went to military police. She went to NCIS. She went to CID. She went to his highest command and nothing happened. Now, in this particular video that I'm about to share the audio on, Donna discusses the main pillars and tactics of abusers. This man made her quit her job, which she did. He then cut her off financially. He made false allegations against her with his mother and made Donna look like the abuser and had her taken to jail, when in reality, he was the abuser, she was the victim, a very common tactic. And the last thing I want to say is something I've said several times before, but I have to remind you. When an abuser strangles a victim, the statistics on that is that they have a 750% increased likelihood of murdering that victim in the next year. This video was recorded on January 1st of 2022, and Donna would ultimately be murdered in July of 2022. Keep that in mind. So here's that audio now. It is 12 minutes and 38 seconds long, so if you are uncomfortable hearing her, you can just fast forward that amount of time.
Have had maybe like 30 situations of him putting his hands on me, and every time I report it,
to his command or his higher ups, nothing is being done. Nothing at all. It does not matter if there's witnesses, if other people have called the police and told them what's happened. Nothing is ever being done. And I've had situations where he's hit me, times where he slapped me like 30 times in the face until like my face was like throbbing. He's choked me unconscious like 4 or 5 times. He's when I would tell him like I'm calling the police, he'd take the phone from me. If he'd start hitting me, I would tell him like stop, or I'm gonna call the cops, or I'm gonna call your command. And then he'd be like, well, if you're gonna end me, and then he'd start choking me, and he'd be like, well, I'm gonna end you. And like, he's choked me, and I've tried to get his hands off my throat, and I just remember like passing out and then waking up on the sofa. He's just done all these ugly things to me, and he just recently got deployed to Japan, and he cheated on me, and that was like 10 or 12 days ago, and I'm here in my house, and I'm just thinking, like, why did I support all those meetings? Why did I, you know, take all him hitting me and, you know, just saying all these awful things to me, if in the end he cheats on me? Like, why did I bite my tongue? And then why was it so many situations where his higher ups were involved, police was involved, and nothing has happened to him? When he gets in trouble, he gets kicked out the house, and that's it. He never gets paperwork. He never gets even kicked out or told like, okay, well, you're gonna lose rank or anything like that. Nothing. And it like frustrates me, and it's haunting me, like all the incidents that he's hit me and done horrible things to me for literally arguments, like little things. He's done so much to me physically, and still like he cheats on me, and that's like my breaking point. Like, I can't be with him after he's cheated on me. But I'm just getting haunted by all these memories of him putting his hands on me. And then even when I reached out for help, like nothing was done at all. And I'm thinking like, what can I do? Why is he so untouchable? There's one recording that I have of him, and he leaked out my personal information. I told him, hey, by doing that, you're putting me in danger. And he's like, good, I hope you get killed. I just sent that recording to his higher ups, and they haven't got back to me. But I'm like thinking and thinking like, what if they just say, okay, well, I don't know, when you get back to Hawaii from Japan, like, you just won't be in the house. Like, why is it that? Why isn't he getting jail time? Why isn't he getting demoted rank? Why isn't he getting kicked out? I've had NCIS involved. I've had CID involved. His highest command, his first sergeant, everybody involved, and he's still fine. He's still doing his daily activities in Japan, and even in here in Hawaii, he would just go back to work like normal.
That's, you know, and I'm so sorry about the whole strangulation thing. That's pretty traumatic in itself, you know. Emotional abuse as well. Like, going through emotional abuse is very traumatic as well, you know, lots of triggers. It's actually one of the most, you know, hurtful, like, worst forms of domestic violence. A lot of times, you know, people would say, I'd rather get hit because I forget about it, or I, you know, broken bone, it heals, you forget about it, versus like the emotional trauma of like not forgetting, you know. Sometimes things just play over in your head. Like right now, like all these things are just, it's a constant right now, you know, and it's definitely not something that should be happening. You don't deserve that type of, you know, treatment, trauma, or anything like that.
Do you work with, do you work with regular people, or do you just work with military people?
We work with everybody. Military, you know, all sorts. Anybody that calls the national hotline.
It just haunts me. How many reports I've made and nothing ever happens. And honestly, like, maybe because I'm, like, I can handle abuse, I can handle all that, but still, like, I've caught him cheating and he's confessed to it in Japan. And, like, they say, oh, military can't cheat, they can't cheat, that's really, like, bad and you get kicked out. Like, I've even reported that and still, like, everyone brushes it off. Like, you can beat my ass, it gets brushed off. You can cheat on me, it gets brushed off. Like, they have his back so freaking hard. I just don't know what else to do. And I'm in this house and I'm like, why did I tolerate all of this freaking bullshit from him? At the end, nothing happens to him. He's hit me in front of his friends. He's hit me in front of a friend that's been inside this house with him. It was me, my husband, and his friend. He's hit me in front of his
military.
What was that? What was that? What did you say? That lady literally just hung up on me. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. You know how stupid I fucking feel right now. They're giving me all these fucking numbers to call and I'm calling them and nothing's like coming out of it. They call and tell me call the victim advocacy line. Call the fucking like national domestic abuse line. Call this fucking other fucking number and nothing fucking happens. All they do is give me a runaround. Why is it that he can hit me in fucking public? And people will tell the cops the story. And everything just gets brushed off. And I'm so stupid. I stayed so long and tolerated all his fucking shit. Just to get fucking cheated on. And when you reach out for help, nothing fucking happens. This motherfucker literally told me, quit your fucking job. It doesn't go against my morals. Quit your job. It doesn't go against my morals. And I quit my fucking job. And then when I asked him to help me buy my plane ticket to go back to Virginia, because ever since I found out he cheated on me in Japan, I've been horrible. He says no. And then I bought the ticket anyways with his money. Then he like drains his bank account and leaves me shit out of fucking luck. I contact his fucking first sergeant tells me out. Well, he's allowed to do that as long as he pays no fucking house. He's allowed to fucking do that. He's not supposed to give you any more money because as long as he pays the house, that's fucking fine. Another incident, let me tell you guys, since nobody fucking wants to fucking help me. His mom came here from New York. His mom came here. Me and his mom was discussing. She hits me. I push her off me. She hits me like 10 times. I push her off me. She calls the cops. The cops take me because him and his mom, my husband and his mom told the cops that I had a fucking knife and I was gonna hurt them. I go to fucking jail. Kailua jail. I go to Kailua jail. I come back home the next day. My husband starts yelling at me saying, apologize to my mom, apologize to my mom. I'm like, why? She fucking hit me first. She lied to the cops. You backed her up. And then I have to apologize to your mom. I went to fucking jail. Literally nothing happens. I swear to God, fucking mark my fucking words. If you're a fucking Marine, you can cheat on your wife, you can fucking beat your fucking wife, you can take all the finances away, you can literally do anything you fucking want. Your higher ups will take your fucking side, and when you go ask, and when your spouse asks for fucking help, you will get nothing. I've been in this house with my husband's friend. He's hit me in front of his friend, and his friend didn't do fucking shit. And mind you, I didn't grow up like squeaky clean or anything like that. Domestic violence is like a little common for me, unfortunately. So I don't want to like justify anything, but I can handle getting hit, whatever, getting hit. But now that he's cheated me in Japan, it's coming, and this house is fucking quiet. I'm fucking looking back and I'm like, why did I tolerate all that fucking bullshit? Why did I tolerate all that fucking bullshit, all those fucking hitting, you know, all the fucking police on fucking Marine Base, Hawaii? They all fucking know me as a fucking bitch who gets beat by her fucking husband. That's so fucking embarrassing. When I go to the PX, when I go to the MCX, like the fucking cops look at me and they fucking know me as that stupid bitch who gets beat by her fucking husband. When I go through the gate and they fucking see me, that's so humiliating. Like, why did I tolerate all that fucking shit, right? That's like what fucking hurts, is why did I tolerate all that fucking shit? And then I'm thinking, why was it allowed to happen 14 fucking times and his higher ups be involved 14 fucking times? And he's still fine. He still does his regular day duties like anything, like nothing freaking happened. Nothing fucking ever fucking happened.
14 times. 14 times his higher-ups had opportunities to help this woman. It's horrible. This poor girl deserved better. And maybe one of the most horrific things that she says is that she can handle getting hit, but she can't handle the cheating. And it's a sentiment that I hear from a lot of people who've survived domestic violence. And I'll say for myself as well that the emotional abuse is often harder to endure than the physical. None of it's okay, but the psychological wounds are so deep, which is why I named this show what I named it. So like I said, this video was recorded on January 1st, and ultimately Dana would find the strength to go file divorce and try to leave Bryant. And one thing that gets me really riled up is when I posted a story about Dana, multiple women actually said she should have gone to the police. She should have just left. So just as a general reminder, in case you forgot, of the women killed by intimate partners, 75% are either trying to leave them or have left. But the harassment doesn't end there. It gets far worse usually, and Bryant was no different. While Dana was issued a no-contact order from his command after he threatened to kill her in December of 2021, it did no good. And when Bryant breached that no-contact order, the military told Dana he would face a non-judicial punishment. But I can't find any proof of any actual consequences that resulted from that non-judicial punishment, and all of the media sources I accessed said the same thing. They couldn't find proof of punishment. Now, a non-judicial punishment, for those of you unfamiliar, is a way for a commander to discipline a Marine without a court-martial. Examples of punishments include restricting the Marine to a specific area for up to 60 days, confining them to quarters for up to 30 days, forfeiture of their pay for up to 2 months, extra duty assigned for up to 45 days, reduction in grade by 1 step, so demoted, and a few other consequences, but these seem to be the most severe options. And like I said, I can't find any proof that there were ramifications for Bryant, so who knows? What I can tell you is I went through this process with my ex-husband and he had 0 ramifications. I got a no contact order and he breached it again and again, and there were 0 repercussions by his command. And one of the things that Dana said that I also related to was that when she called military police and reported her husband for abuse, his command would have him go sleep at the barracks for a night for a cooling off period. Nothing else. That's exactly what I experienced myself with my ex's command. And guess what? They just come home from the barracks even more pissed off. It's not a solution. Another thing I experienced on more than one occasion when my ex was physical, I would call the civilian police, and the police would show up because we lived off base. But my ex would call his command, and they'd come immediately over and tell the civilian police they were going to handle it in-house. And every time the civilian police said, okay, and left. There's just no justice for abused military significant others, and quite frankly, I never hear anything from the military until after the wife is dead. And they say, well, we have a zero tolerance for domestic violence. Perhaps one of the scariest things that I've been told by numerous spouses on the bases in Hawaii is that their husbands who are officers will have domestic violence incidences occur, and they'll be mad and they'll want to do something and they'll be upset and they'll actively be told by their higher ups to just let it go. I know I've mentioned this before, but it's just absurd. Now, Donna was planning on moving back to Virginia to be with her family when she could get the funds to do so. She had left Bryant and was trying to find a way back home. Donna was also 3 months pregnant and extremely excited about becoming a mother despite the turmoil she was in. She felt she would go to Virginia, be with her mother and sisters, and be very happy to have her own child. And on the headstone on Donna's grave, it also lists her sweet baby Damien. Donna and her family would never get to meet Damien because on July 20th of 2022, at around 6 p.m., Donna would be driving down the H3. Details are unclear if she pulled over to talk to Bryant or if they're in the same vehicle for some reason. I couldn't exactly find out how that transpired. But what witnesses saw was a man standing over a woman's body repeatedly stabbing her. And brave onlookers would intervene and jump on Bryant and try desperately to save Donna. But Brian would flee to the woods with his weapon, where police would approach him. And as they approached him, Bryant would actually use the same weapon to stab himself. Donna was rushed to Castle Adventist Hospital in critical condition and was later declared dead. Now, all news sources retell this incident as Bryant having a knife, but I was told from one of the military spouses it was a Gerber multi-tool, which I've been not able to confirm from anybody else, but I tend to trust the military wives on the inside more than the media. So take that for what you will. Since Donna's death and Bryant's arrest, he has been sitting on a $1 million bail facing second-degree murder charges for which he has pled not guilty. The last update I could find was from September of 2024, and the article said that he was still sitting in a waiting trial that was scheduled for June of 2025. If you're out there and you have any other updates, please let me know. There's just very little to be accessed about updates at this point. Now, for those of you following along, I have mentioned tirelessly that on September 1st of 2024, a military wife whose husband was under the same command as Bryant's was killed, and I need to correct that because I said they were under the same command. What I meant was the same brass leadership at the base. They're at the same base, but not the same unit. Different fur shirts, different direct leadership. Donna's husband was a Marine out of the 3rd Littoral Combat Team, the 3rd Marine Division. The man being held in confinement for the death of Ruby Tenorio was in a different unit, and his name is Alfonso Alcantar. So, if you're keeping track, in confinement, awaiting trials for the murder of their significant others and some children in Hawaii are Kendall Rashad Ramsey, who killed Kayla Holder and their son Kai Noah. Can't find any updates on that case. No trial results, nothing. If you know of any updates, this case just went dark on the internet. I know he was pleading not guilty, but please email me if you have any updates. There's just nothing to be found. Then we have Army Reserve Specialist Samuel David Jones, who's pleading not guilty to stabbing and lighting on fire Jordan LaLusa in 2023, and he's awaiting trial. And then we have Dwayne Arthur Johnson in confinement at the Brig right now for the charges of murder of Misha Johnson and her baby, obstruction of justice, and the possession of child pornography. And Misha's mother has shared with me that they have no updates or a trial date that has been set at this time. He's just sitting at the Brig. That's all she knows. And I can only imagine her frustration as her grandson would be born by now. And instead of being with her daughter and her sweet grandbaby, she's awaiting a trial date. And then, of course, now we have Alfonso Alcantar, who no charges have been filed against, but he has now been in confinement for nearly 5 months for the questioning surrounding the death of Ruby Alcantar, or what her parents have chosen for her obituary is to honor her by using her maiden name, Ruby Tenorio. And thankfully, I did hear from insiders that her family was able to take her children home safely with them. That's the only good news so far. If you Google Ruby's name, the only thing you're going to find is my TikTok, Instagram Reels, and podcasts announcing her name. Not a single media site has picked this up, so please keep demanding answers from the military. Now, Dana Alotaibi was a polarizing woman, but a woman deserving of living a life that was free of emotional and physical abuse. She only wanted what so many of us want as humans, which is to live a peaceful life with love and to be safe. She deserved so much better, and instead she's been reduced to being shamed for the career that she was in for a short-lived amount of time and only the smallest portion of her life, and it had nothing to do with who she was. Please don't remember Donna as a military wife who had an OnlyFans. That's not who she was. Remember her as a spunky, vibrant woman who loved her mom and loved her sisters. She loved dancing and music and having fun with her friends and laughing. She had an infectious laugh and sense of humor. And she was excited about being a mother, and her willingness to speak out against domestic violence in the military in such a vulnerable way on a large platform brought about important conversations and gave spotlight to a topic that is so often buried, which is incredibly brave. So please remember her for her bravery. So, on my next episode, we're going to dive into what DARVO is and talk a little about pop culture. Random, yes, but DARVO is an abuse tactic, and a lot of people have never heard of it before, but it's being flung about quite a bit right now. If you pay attention to pop culture, you know that there's a major storyline playing out in real time in front of us all between actor Justin Baldoni and actress Blake Lively. In fact, everything you may have seen about this may have been against your will because we can't get away from the topic. But if you follow me on social media, you may have seen a video I did in the past where I talked about how I actually grew up as next door neighbors with Justin Baldoni from childhood through teen years. So I'm going to share some funny anecdotes about his family who, sorry, but they're like the nicest people. But also, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about what DARVO is. So join me for that next week. Thank you for listening, and please stay safe.